Great. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. So welcome everyone to the Bodies Podcast channel. The Bodies Podcast channel was created for people to have more communion between their being and their body. And it really came from a true sense of me. I just recognized so many people desired to have a greater depth of connection with their body, their primary life partner. The reason you've been, that you're on this planet, or one of them. So the first person I would like to introduce is Liam Phillips, my fine friend, access facilitator, talk to the entities, and body process facilitator and being you facilitator. I said that all in one sentence. Wow. Okay. Thanks for being on. How you be?
Yeah, really great. Just thank you for the introduction, and it's great to see everybody's smiling face. I just woke up, really, had a shower, but we just had an earthquake, literally. That was really groovy, yeah. So I'm at the top of a 30 or 40 story building, and it's like... So my question to start off today is, how can we rock your world with indulging in your fantasies? And yeah.
Yes, rock your world and indulging in your fantasies. Who's got any fantasies that they're desperately trying not to indulge in? If you could raise your hand. Boyka, if you could write out the big questions on the chat box that seem like
Yes.
they might need a little explanation. I wonder if that would be easier for everyone too. Would that be easier for you? Okay, awesome.
One of the things, when we were looking at this podcast, we were asking what title to actually use, and it was really interesting because we were throwing things into the pot. What would we talk about? And then Matt, could I just go into your
Yes.
And Matt, and I said, let's talk about something else for a few seconds. And Matt said, can you assist me with something? He said that at one point he had an amazing encounter sexually with somebody, and it was sort of like he was able to indulge in all these fantasies that he hadn't done before. His body felt great afterwards for about two and a half days, I think it was. And then all of a sudden it all changed, and we had a look at that, and we talked about a little bit more about a few other things. And what really came up was when we actually look at indulging in our fantasies and what we truly desire, but we've made it a wrongness, then we can't receive it, and that starts to create this weird, I'm going to quote unquote, pain in our bodies and in maybe in our realities as well. So it was really funny, and then Matt said to me, what should we call the call now? Oh, indulging in your fantasies.
Right. It was really intense because there was such an energy of wrongness around doing what I knew would just, create communion with me and another person because of the culture's definitions. And there was this one point where it just happened, and it was just like what Liam said. It was like literally 2.5 days. I was aware of pains that I wasn't even aware of that were gone. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's like there was so much space in my world. And I wonder how many years I had been resisting and building walls against that fantasy, and indulging in it. And after that, well, to say the least, everything changed in ways that I couldn't really, there's no way I could have actually projected or calculated how the things changed in my orientation to sexuality. So thanks for bringing that one up, man. That was brilliant.
Well, the thing is, how often in this reality is indulging in your fantasies? Is it a rightness or a wrongness? But from my point of view, it was something, a fantasy was something that you should keep secret and hidden and in the background. And then so of course, any time that I'd want to indulge in it, especially sexually in the bedroom, it was, if I wanted to indulge for it, my partner might say to me, "Hey, what would you like?" And I'm going, "Well, I'd really like this." But I can't ask for it because I've bought this reality's point of view that indulging in something that you really desire is the wrongness. And B, I knew that so I did start asking for it, but then I couldn't receive it because there was already a wrongness. So if I started to move into playing with a body in that way, all of a sudden all this wrongness would come up in my reality, and everything would go flat, literally. So it wasn't much fun for me to indulge in my fantasies until I found these tools from Access Consciousness, which is, like questioning that and stopping for a moment and really having a look at what you desire, what you create. So yeah, Matt,
well, can you give us all like a real-time example of something? Maybe it's not something as charged as sexuality, but a fantasy that's really common for, let's say Germany or the United States to not indulge in because it's wrong. What would be?
I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about money, because so many of us have this point of view that it's a wrongness to want the money, and it's so up in our faces all the time. We all desire money. Put up your hand if you do not desire money. Put up your hand if you do desire money.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, in this reality, to have that as a desire, it's sort of like, it's wrong. You shouldn't have the money, especially if you're a therapist, or you should do it for the love, man, not for the money. And so we tend to then make that into a fantasy. And I know, like, then for me, it's sort of like the nice shirts and the jackets and the bling and the cars and what I would do with the money. And as soon as any money starts to show up in my reality, if I've got a wrongness, a judgment about it being wrong, I can't receive the money. So the money can be right there, but then there's a judgment in front of that, and it's stopping it from coming, literally. Or the money comes and you can't have it for any longer than 10 seconds. So you have to create a problem in your reality, like a big bill, or somebody steals money from you, or your suitcase goes missing on the airplane, whatever that is. And so what really came up for me last night, and it was because it rhymed, it was really cool. Let me just see if I can remember it.
Do that one. Yeah.
It was what crap the crap judgment that has you from you keeps you in the lack. There was something about crap and lack. I had it better last night. But any crap judgment that you have of you really keeps you in the lack. And literally with money, because indulging in having money is a wrongness, will stop us from being able to receive that. And it's the same in sex. It's the same in relationship. Actually, relationship is another really good example.
That could be a really rampant one, I think. Relationship fantasies that are they're like planetary culture of relationship fantasies. It seems like all cultures have a similar relationship fantasy. Now, when I was much shorter, like a lot shorter, like more like this big, tiny, for my brain, it even started to develop. There was can everybody just kind of like remember that part of you when you were much shorter and nothing mattered and it was just a fun life? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There we go. And so from that space, did you have a relationship fantasy going on when you were one? Or was it something else? Or were you just kind of like playing and rolling with all the different relations that were around you with, no big picture to, get with them and spend the rest of your life with them? You didn't have a fantasy that was projected quite yet. And how much easier was it for you then to be in the non-fantastical world? And then we all get a little bit older and we start to really care for our parents and our family, and we know they're doing everything they can for us. And when you're aware of that, do you, as a younger person, do you ever find that you might have taken on whatever their fantasies are just because you cared for them? Paula says no. Boyka says no. Liam, did you do that? Or?
No, never.
Okay. All right. So that was just me. So I'm just going to...
Yeah, totally.
I'm just spacing out here. I am hearing your words and...
right. Isn't that an amazing story to actually go back to those places where you didn't have any fantasies? And then as you get older, did you continue to, take on more fantasies around you that you thought should be yours, or did you do something else? So you get up to teenage years, and everybody knows what teenagers are about. We've all been in, right? They're about...
I think we still all are, yeah. Okay.
Exactly. F off! I rule! You don't! Go away! And so you start stepping into this massive resistance of everything. And as you're resisting everything, are you like locking all those fantasies in? So you're resisting the fantasies in, and you're keeping everyone else's out. And for me, by the time I was out of my teens, I had no idea who I was. I was like a conglomeration of 50 fantasies. Which fantasy will I pick today that's not mine? That's about as far as my question went. And a thing comes up even to today, like this watch. My grandpa, loved that guy. Beautiful Tissot watch. Just gorgeous. I mean, it's like male jewelry, right? And whenever I put this watch on, I immediately think I want to be in a war. Mm-hmm. Is that just insane? But I love this watch. So I love whatever fantastical fantasy that my grandpa had about the watch too. So the question I want to bring to you is, what is this one? This should be good. Liam, don't interrupt me if you have anything good to add. Okay?
Okay.
Don't do what I say. That's rule number 2. When you find something you love in your life, if you try to, what's that? Hey.
Or someone.
Or someone, something or someone that you love in your life, do you take on the fantastic and the fantasies of that person or place into your life? Right? Did everybody like go to the Andromeda galaxy or something, or was that just...
Yeah.
Right. So would you guys be willing to have total awareness of all the fantasies in your life so you can actually be in choice with them? Right? And that means, would you be willing to indulge in all those fantasies? That doesn't mean if you like to kill people that you need to go kill people. It means willing.
Oh, why not?
I wasn't talking to you, Paula. Come on. Right. So everything that comes up. Did you want to say something there, Liam?
Yeah. Paula can have the special license, the 007 clause.
Ooh. Yeah.
License to kill.
I wonder if she's...
I like that. I was a killer. I was an assassin in so many lives. I'm actually so good at it.
Huh.
Okay, talking about that. Don't mind me.
That brings up a good question. Paula, are you a double agent or a triple agent? Boy,
Good one, good one.
yeah, sure is quiet. Liam, can you talk about this last round, please?
Well, everywhere where you're unwilling to indulge your fantasies because you think you're going to have to do it, will you now destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, pop, all nine short boys, meons. Actually, Paula brought up a really good point there. How many of our fantasies are from other lifetimes that have got absolutely nothing to do with what we would like to create and generate in this lifetime? So all those lifetimes that we've had where we're still buying those fantasies as real, can we destroy and uncreate all of that and across all lifetimes, space, dimensions, realities, and time continuums?
Yes.
Yes.
Good and bad, right, wrong, pop, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Matt, I really loved your question earlier on, like going back to when you were smaller and you didn't have any fantasies, and I literally spaced out. I could not hear a word you were saying. And sort of like, so what really came up for me there was, okay, so right now, if I've got all of these fantasies, how much of that is stopping me from accessing the space of who I be? And it's like, you've got your grandfathers. I don't know whose ring this is, but, you know, every time I put that on, you know, I feel very different, as you said. And all these fantasies come up in my head. And how much is that stopping me from being me, from accessing the space that I be, accessing the energy, accessing what I truly desire, and not what those projected fantasies are from everybody and everything else?
I got a huge question. So, Liam, in your experience, when you become aware of fantasies that aren't yours, and if you were to set them back to fantasies that, you know, you're aware that you chose, does one like have more joy than the other? Or is that a good way to actually weigh out what actually will create more for you? Or is there a different question to ask?
Well, I think that's a really great point. I was talking to Dane the other day, and he had the ESB in Australia just recently, and the day before it was like I was, and it was really, really intense. So I texted him and I said, hey, you know, is this going to be a particularly intense class? And is there anything that I can contribute to it? And he said, if there's anything that you could contribute to it, go and have some fun. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. You mean being joyful and having fun and indulging in the things that are fun and joyful for you could actually contribute to an energy halfway across the planet, could actually contribute to creating more of that sort of energy on the planet. So what fantasies do you have that bring you joy, that you're resisting, that if you didn't resist them and you were willing to be them, would allow you to have more ease with your body?
Wow. Katrin, do you have a huge fantasy that you're resisting that you just joyful for you? Because your picture almost like exploded off my computer screen and I couldn't see anyone else.
Other than killing people?
Well, that's a good one too. Paula. Yeah, great. So everything that doesn't allow you to know what fantasies are a total joy for you, can we destroy and uncreate everything that comes up around that? Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And killing. God, how much intensity, power, potency, and brilliance is it there in being a fantastical killer, an assassin? How much would you be
Wow.
aware of everyone's fantasies that you were going to kill? I mean, I'm not promoting that you're going to kill. There's
No.
energy there, right, Paula?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got my juices flowing. My criminal juices flowing.
Right. Well, have you made this energy around killing, whatever it is, have you made it right or wrong? Right? Wrong? Something else?
Maybe a tiny bit wrong. Like tiny little bit wrong.
Just a little? Is
Yeah.
it more right than wrong? Come on now. Yeah, so you made the killing right. Great. So what if that was a fantastic reservoir of energy beyond the title, beyond the action, beyond the fantasy, that you could actually start allowing back into your life now? Would that be something you wanted to choose?
Oh, wow. I never thought of that.
Mm-hmm. I just thought of it. Yeah. So, Liam, can you pock and pot us?
Yeah, please.
Well, killed in you. Can we now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure it wasn't. If you're looking at killing energies and that you like to, that's one of your fantasies, and you.
It was actually more of a joke, but apparently there is some layers to that, and I'm discovering new abilities.
Uh-huh.
It's getting better. This didn't go as I thought it would, but hey, it never does. It's getting better.
I just want to expand on that a little bit, because if you're resisting it in any way, whether you've made it a rightness or a wrongness, then what are you doing with your body? Are you energizing your body with that fantasy, or are you killing it?
Killing it.
Yeah. Is it really your body that you want to kill, or is it other bodies?
Other bodies.
But in our resistance, we start killing our own bodies.
So, Liam, are you saying that if you have a potency, a power of killing energy, you could go step on a bug, right? That'd be killing energy. Ha ha, bye-bye. If you had that energy and you're trying to keep others from knowing that, do you have to turn it inward?
Maybe.
Maybe. Paula, is that what
Maybe. Holy shit. Wow, that's exactly what I've been doing. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
So everything matters. Everywhere where we've been killing our bodies from making our fantasies a rightness or a wrongness, can we now destroy and uncreate all of that? Oh, maybe we could kill that.
Yes, please.
Good and bad, right?
Bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, thank you, because it's like we're just taking all these fantasies out of your head. It's so much fun.
I know, I'm fun, right?
And once you get fantasies out of your head, how much easier is it for you to be in choice with them?
Oh.
A lot or not so much?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Wow, yeah.
Do we hide them in our heads or our bodies, or hide them somewhere so that we can avoid anyone else seeing them? And how much does that make us have to put up walls around us and protect ourselves? A lot or a little?
Megatons?
Yes.
More like.
So would you be willing to come out of hiding, Paula?
Oh my God, yes. Oh, this hiding energy.
Yeah.
I've been working on like for so long. It's coming up like big time. It's hiding stuff. Wow.
How many lifetimes? One or more?
Phew, 7.
Okay, 7. Great.
Huh.
Okay. How much are we creating our lives from the fantasies of past lives we can't even remember?
Oh.
Lots or hardly at all? I can hear crickets. I'm going to take that as a yes, right? Okay. Everything that is, it doesn't allow you to be in total choice with all your past lives, future lives, and this life that your body's in. Your sweet, sweet, kind body. Can we destroy and uncreate all that is? Time for that, tell you.
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all night shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow, Liam, there was a bit of charge on that past life stuff. What?
Just a little.
The hidden and the secret stuff really comes up here now too. Everything that is shiku about all of this, that is secret, hidden, unsaid, undisclosed, unspoken.
Forbidden.
All those forbidden things. We lock. How much energy do we use to keep everything secret and hidden and shiku? And how much of that is being locked into our body and locked into our Bechamex and literally killing our future creations as well.
Right.
So everything that's shiku, everything that you've made shiku about your fantasies or the fantasies that you've bought that are yours that actually aren't, will you now be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Thank you. Good and bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn, ice, short, boys, music. And this, for me, it's like, wow, in relationship, this is so incredible because when we go into relationship with someone, or if we have sex with someone and our barriers start to come down and we start to receive them, we start to receive everything that they have, everything that they're being, everything that they're not being, everything where they're hiding stuff. And if you buy it, just 1 millimeter, 1 ounce of that as yours, then you start to function from that point of view of somebody else, or you start to function from their fantasies, or you start to function from their wrongness of their fantasies.
Oh, God.
And then you're going, what the fuck is going on? No, you're probably not. You've probably just gone into, I'm a pile of shit.
Oh, my God.
To do. I can't. I am stupid.
And, and how many of you actually know when you're not being you and you're in a fantasy? All the time or none of the time? Boy, we may have to work on that one. Everything that brings up coaches. Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all sports, boys and men. Hey, Liam, we talked about relationships a bit last night. Can I speak to some of the things you brought up? Is that
yeah, sure. Yeah. Did you pod me last night? Oh, yeah. That's why I can't remember it.
Yeah, it was a PNP session. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
For you, fantasy, is this fantasy, the word, is it good or is it bad? Or is it like imagination? It's the same, fantasy and imagination, or is it different?
Yeah, fantasy and imagination, is it different? Well, let's go with light or heavy. Do you have taken a bars class?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So can we go with light or heavy on this? So if you put fantasy in one of your hands and put imagination in the other hands, is one lighter or one heavier? Fantasy, imagination, or are they different?
Fantasy is very, for me, it's very nice. It's light.
Sure. Yes. There's no right or wrong about it. Yeah.
Okay.
A fantasy is a thing, and if you notice you're having one, then you can talk to it. Say, "Hi, fantasy. Are you mine, or do I just hope you're mine?"
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good question. Because I have so many fantasies. I don't know. Is it fantasy or is it me? I don't know. Okay.
I just Googled what does fantasy mean, and it's the faculty or activity of imagining the impossible or improbable things. So it's sort of like how much of our lives are we putting into fantasy because we've already decided that it's actually impossible. And so and then we never physically actualize that, but it's what we all are we all infinite beings, or are we piles of poo? Okay, so we're all infinite beings. Everyone's nodding their head. Yeah. As an infinite being, is anything impossible? Yes? No. As an infinite being, you can create, generate, and physically actualize anything that you truly desire. And yet, in our fantasies, we put it in fantasy land because that we've already decided that is impossible.
So, Liam, is that where, when you were talking about me not where I was resisting indulging in that sexual fantasy, is that the same dynamic that you're talking about, where I'd resisted it so long that I actually was keeping something from being? Or can you speak more to that?
Well, was that were you had you put it into such a realm of impossibility that you couldn't totally receive it?
Right. Yeah, I put it into a realm of impossibility. Right. Okay.
So everywhere where you've made your fantasy the place where you've put everything that you've decided is impossible, will you now destroy and uncreate all of that, please?
Oh, wow. That's brilliant. Yes. Good, bad, wrong, pocket, nine shorts, boys, and beyond. You want me to be your rock and pod boy? I'm feeling pretty spacey anyway. I just had the most astounding awareness, Liam, when we were talking about that sexual fantasy thing.
Uh-huh.
I had never asked if that was mine, and I just went to that space with that partner, and I was like, oh my God, I was acting out her sexual fantasy and didn't even know it till now. Okay, is Matt smarter or less smarter? And everything that comes up around that, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion? Good, bad, right, wrong, pocket and pod, all nine shorts, boys, beyonds. What if you're willing to be that level of question with any fantasy? Then how much more choice and possibility would be available to you?
And what a gift that is to allow that person to access the possibility that she had made, I assume it was a woman, that they had made as impossible. You know, like that actually opens the door up to another possibility for that person.
Right.
So it's not by you acting out another person's fantasy doesn't necessarily mean that that's a wrongness, that you've done something wrong. Maybe there's a brilliance to you that has allowed somebody else to access and open another possibility, which will open another possibility for someone else, etc., 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 etc.
So it kind of leapfrogs and gains momentum. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I guess the big thing is that we stay in the question. And I guess that's a great question to ask. Is this my fantasy or is this somebody else's?
Yeah. Who does this fantasy belong to?
Oh, that old tool that everybody resists.
The first tool of access. Who does this fantasy belong to? That might need to be rewritten somewhere, but I pock and pot all that. Yeah, and then that same thing, you know, I was talking about it in the sexuality fantasy arena. Liam, can we like move that over to the relationship, you know, the part that all the girls like, the relationship part, fantasy?
Are you calling me a girl?
Well, kinda. I woke up and thought I was a girl this morning. I got over it really quick. But I'm just saying, how many times do we actually act out our relationship partners' fantasies cluelessly? And let's think about we were so bold to ask the question, who are our relationship partners that we're not acknowledging? Can everyone say hello to your relationship universe and everyone you're in a relationship with that you're using a fantasy to pretend you're not in a relationship with? Made my head a little weird. Liam, help me.
Well, that's a lot of this secret and hidden stuff too, is that when you're in relationship with another person, and they're making the relationship hidden in that it happens a lot with women that they say that they don't want a relationship when actually they do desire a relationship. And then the man is going, oh, they don't desire a relationship. That's so cool. We're just going to have sex.
Oh, yeah.
And you wake up and the man is in a relationship. The woman doesn't want sex anymore. And it's like, not so much fun. It's not a fantasy that I like to indulge in. And yet sometimes you create it.
Katrin, I would say that is a great example of a fantasy that's not good. For instance, my interesting point of view, but I think we found one that's not too good. Okay. So everything that brings up for us all, can we destroy and uncreate times God said?
Thank you.
There's a big connection between sexuality and relationships, I see. No. No, not at all. Because you switch from sexuality to relationship because women like relationship, and I thought, hey, we also like sexuality, so it was a little bit crazy.
Maybe we got it all backwards, Liam. Maybe women should only be in relationship with women because other women like relationship, and all of us guys should just have sex with other guys.
Exactly. Oh my God, that's brilliant. Good one, man. Yeah.
Man, I'm smart. What were you going to say?
No, it's boring.
It's boring. Yeah.
I don't know.
Doesn't have to be.
Is that a conclusion?
Whose fantasy is that?
Hey, look at that killer Paula energy going, right? Whose fantasy is that? Yeah. Now, if you're willing to like start being aware and indulging, I want to talk a little bit about indulging. So, indulging is the opposite of what? Resisting. So, acknowledge anything in your life you resist. Let's start with something you actually enjoy, something that you'd like to enjoy but you resist. I'm looking at your faces. You guys are like, wow, you can't find any. Okay, something you would love, hate, but you're something you love. Do you have any of those? Okay, Liam, I might need a different set of words coming out of your mouth. Could you help us?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think we were just so much space after that last conversation. It's hard to find. So how many people are actually sort of in a vortex right now where there's just more space in their reality? So to find a rightness or a wrongness, it's like, huh?
Right. There's so much space. You can't latch.
Or is it that you have so much rightnesses and wrongnesses that you do not desire to look at, so you're trying to keep it secret and hidden, and you're pushing it out of your reality right now?
That's an interesting idea. Okay.
So it's like if you just indulge in that in this 10 seconds, and just be aware of every fantasy that you've ever had or has ever been projected at you, and not make it a rightness or a wrongness. Just be aware of that space, or the lack of space that creates.
Whoa. Got space. That worked.
And that's the resistance there, is that sometimes we use the judgment to push stuff, the rightness or the wrongness of ourselves, and we push anything that would give us more freedom right out of our reality, or in some cases we put it in another dimension or another reality or another universe so that we can never access it. Access consciousness. So all those dimensions, realities, universes that you have hidden part of you. You know, that just imagine a pie right now, and you're a pie, and it's cut up into 1,000 pieces. And in this reality, you're one piece of that, or maybe 10 pieces of that, which makes you 10%. And then all the other 990 pieces are out there in different realities, dimensions, universes. How much do you have? How much energy do you have only functioning from that 10% of your pie? A lot, a little, or almost none?
Almost none.
Yeah. So everywhere where you've popped all that, all of those fantasies that you've either made right or wrong, or that that have been projected at you into another reality, another realm, the realm of fantasy. Will you now be willing to pull them all back so you can have choice?
Yeah.
Good and bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn, iron shorts.
Wow. Something cleared there. There's a lot of energy moving around that, Liam.
Oh my. Can we swear?
You can't fucking swear.
Only
Oh, fuck. No. Damn it. I wanted to swear, but shit.
Oh, gosh. You shouldn't enjoy yourself more, because we sure enjoy you, Paula.
Oh, shit. That. What I resisted, enjoying myself and receiving that from other people, like I don't even know how to put it in words.
You just did.
But in my head it's like so much more complicated because I'm a woman, probably.
Everywhere that you're trying to make it complicated, well, it's just trying uncreative.
Just hang out with guys. We're as dumb and simple as possible. You don't even have to touch us or talk to us. Just stand around and sniff like, I feel better.
But if I do this,
if you do that, I would run, but that's just it.
Ooh.
Yeah. The indulging piece, a piece about that's key, is if I'm in resistance to something, whatever it is, resistance to receiving money, resistance to doing the right thing, resistance to anything, if I'm willing to be the energy of indulgence with it, I'm just gonna start receiving money just because I don't like to, or I'm just gonna start being with those people who I'm in resistance to. Not doing, but being. There's a possibility there that can open up a tremendous amount of awareness for a lot of people. And every time someone else is willing to be in question with, could I indulge in this fantasy energetically? How much could that actually contribute to everyone else's awareness of what's a fantasy that works for them and what's a fantasy that doesn't? I'm great at run-on sentences, and if you didn't know that, I'll put it in the... Boyka, could you put that in the chat box? Matt is great at run-on sentences. Can you do it in German too? I think that...
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So everything that comes up around anything that wouldn't allow you to embrace the idea of indulging in something you resist or a fantasy, can we destroy and uncreate everything that comes up around that?
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all night. Shorts, boys, and beyonds, access, consciousness, trademark, or applied, prohibited by law in some countries. Like Germany, maybe. I'm not sure, actually. Okay,
We neither.
Matt, I think one of the key things that you were talking there is like the difference between do and be. It's I was just looking for my notes because Gary said something the other day that I pulled off of one of the classes, and the question was what can I be that would change this boredom into the infinite choices of possibility. And I really get that question works here when we're looking at indulging fantasies, is because so much of this reality is about doing. And so we often misidentify that if we be it, then we have to do it. It's not, it's indulging in the energy of what that bees, of what you be, that energy. So everywhere that we misidentified doing as being, can we now destroy and uncreate all of that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good and bad, right, rum, pop, on I should poison the others. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, that's great. Should we do an exercise now where everyone can actually have a chance to indulge in something that they haven't before?
Yeah. Can I just bring some porn up now? Oh, sorry.
Oh, really? Where'd my porn go? How come I don't get it? All right, so find something in your reality that you're not willing to fantasize about that you really would love to indulge in. Okay, Paula's got hers. Katrin's pretending she doesn't. Boyka's, Boyka, how are you? Okay, she's got hers. Earl, man, that is a nice smile. Okay, so you guys all got it? And now, would you be willing to lower all your barriers to it? Inside your body, ask your body to contribute to you, and would you be willing to expand and be aware? The awareness you are that's beyond your body, and include your body. And on 3, indulge. 1, 2, 3. How much more communion do you have with your body now? Right? Wrong? Good, bad, pod, pock, all night, shorts, boys, and hands. Okay, how was that for everybody? You all look so different. Tell me what happened.
It was bad.
Bad. Paula was indulgent in being bad?
Very bad.
Very bad, okay.
I'm not going to do it again.
You're not going to do it again. Okay, all right. Katrin? How was your indulgence?
It's very exciting because I do very many calls only with women, and now we are a very small group with 2 men.
Mm.
3 men.
With 3.
3?
Yeah, we got Earl too.
Oh shit, we're
That's
outnumbered.
awesome. It's 50-50. What do you mean?
Someone is in a fantasy land. Like, where am I? What mistaken identity or something?
Oh my God! Thank you, Paula, for being on this call. I want to put this out there for everyone that
Aren't you happy that you followed the awareness to invite me? Like,
I know. I thought I wanted to kill you, but really, I wanted to protect you. Yeah.
You're brilliant.
Right. Yeah. It's what you guys are willing to bring to the table on these calls that helps it unlock these things for you and for everyone else on the call. Because how much more vulnerability do you have to be about talking about what you don't want to indulge in when you're with other people? Do you have to be a lot more, vulnerable and edgy? And then everyone else on the call actually receives the change that you're willing to be. Yeah, so
that's why I said it, because it's, for me, it's more familiar to show to show and to talk to women. I'm very much in women's circles, and it's good to be more with men to get it closer, and to because I want more contact and more communication with you men, and to not to understand you, but the energy to share it.
See, I knew you're gonna like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something came up for me with regards to that, because I indulged in something, and then what actually came up was this real heaviness in my chest area, which is where I often experience that that feeling of heaviness. And so, Matt, what is that? What is the heaviness of the fantasy? Is that because it's not true for me?
It may be different for other people, but the question I asked Liam is, when a heaviness comes up around something, I always ask, is this awareness or something else? Because how often when we feel something heavy do we immediately shove it off to the side? A lot of the time, or not so much? No, that's heavy. I don't need to be aware of it anymore. So, Liam, is that heaviness an awareness about something that you haven't previously been willing to receive?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Would you be willing to indulge in the heaviness so that you can, like Paula does as a triple agent, so you can penetrate and perforate the defenses and dissolve this terrible happening in your chest? Okay, that may have gone over the top there.
Thank you so much, because that is so helpful in that how many of us actually avoid the heaviness because we've made it a wrongness, which is now we've taken an awareness and twisted it into a judgment, rather than being aware that, oh, that is a heavy energy. Okay, do I really want to go there? Do I want to indulge in it? Oh, that's a good question. If I indulge in that, what will this create?
That was the second question I could remember. Thank you. If I indulge in this, what will this create?
Mm-hmm. Without going into your cognitive mind, oh, it's going to create this, and this, and this, and putting it into the realm of fantasy again, or impossibility.
If I indulge in this, what will it create? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the first question, once again, we will send these out to you again, you guys, so that you can have some of these questions in your pocket when these fantasies come up. First one was, when you feel something heavy, how did we phrase that? It an awareness. Okay.
Yeah, is it an awareness?
Or something else. Okay. Great. All right, I'm back.
It's cool. It's cool because only about talking about that indulging this heaviness, it immediately creates so much space. Yeah. Only by getting aware that if we are willing to indulge that.
Yeah. That is so cool, Boyka. I know Brendan from Access, he was speaking about this, and he was really backing off of the relationship with Simone, and it was creating a lot of weirdness in his reality. So I think it was Gary said, well, indulge in it. So he indulged in not having a relationship for 3 days. And it gave him so much awareness and so much space and peace around it that he no longer had to resist it. And so it gave him the awareness that this is okay. And I have choice. I can either choose it or not choose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you indulge in it, if you're to just ask the question, which is the willingness piece, not the doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I indulge in this, what would I be aware of? And what would this create more ease or more sorrow and gloom and doom? You know, if you do it.
Yeah. Can I loop us back to something that Katrin said a little while ago?
No, you're a guy, Earl. You can't talk.
Oh, I can? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She made the comment about understanding men.
Uh-huh.
And it brought up a lot of energy about this reality and the fantasy we probably all bought into about men and women never being able to understand each other.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, how much energy is all that?
Is that you have two partners and one of them stands under the other one. That's
Still BDSM, yeah.
Yeah, that's 5 billion years old. Relationship equals two people come together and one of them stands under the other one. So
in a humanoid relationship, it's often one is trying to stand, both of them are trying to understand each other.
yes.
And what you try to understand becomes a demon because you make the other person then greater. And then you start to buy all their projected points of view, realities, fantasies, and or you resist it, or you start cutting pieces and bits and pieces of yourself off to try and fit into their reality. Mm-hmm. And it in the end, it just does not work because you're starting to choose things that you wouldn't be choosing for yourself in order to keep understanding in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So is the heaviness all actually around the word understand rather than men and women trying to understand each other?
Yeah.
It's the understand, because every time you try to understand, you shrink yourself and make yourself smaller and
exactly
less.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of shrink?
Everywhere where we've made
that
the demon by trying to understand them, can we now destroy and uncreate it all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good and bad, right, rum, pop, popcorn, iron, sugar, poison. You know. That's where. Sorry.
Does that mean that we don't need to understand the partner? It doesn't matter what. It's only interesting point of view. You had an interesting point of view. Mm-hmm. But now let's make sex or what?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an interesting point of view you have there. Can we have sex now? What I would say.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Do you want to stand under or stand with?
You just want to make sure that if your partner has killing energy, that you stay sharp. It might be funner.
I think that's standing. Sorry. Yeah, Boika.
No, I'm sorry.
Standing with is a good point. It's like Gary often talks about walking with your body and walking with the earth rather than trying to understand your body. How many of us are trying to understand our body and then made our body the demon that we're always trying to defend? So what if we were to walk with our partners, walk with our relationships, walk with, and that is a very simple tool. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Yeah, and then that will get you out of trying to understand because people choose what they choose because they can choose it.
Yeah.
But the problem is with understanding, they become a demon, and you get the man then turns into a demon bastard from hell, and the woman turns into a demon bitch from hell, and it it doesn't work because everything is then just super heavy.
But Liam, we have this tool now, so would it be possible just to turn? I am not a fan of understanding because I don't want to stay under. But we have now this kind of tool with indulgence, and then we can use it instead of trying to understand or understanding, to be indulgent with the partner.
Mm. Can I ask you a question on the energy of that, Boyka?
Yeah, sure.
Do you like to stand under a man? Truth. And anywhere this applies to anyone else, please destroy and uncreate everything that comes up for you times a godzillion.
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and pod.
Podem POC, 9 shots for Zillions.
All 9 shots poison. Catherine's like, no, don't stand over me. I'll run away. Oh my God, I'll go to someone else's fantasy. Yeah, and thank you, everybody.
I don't want to stand under men, that's all.
You don't?
Yeah, and I don't want to stand over them. It's only I need to be on one level.
Yeah, well, is that the same energy that Liam was speaking to? What if you were to walk with men and
that's good.
Be different.
That's good. Yeah.
What would that create for you? Because this old story about men and women and male and female genders is so boring. I am bored to tears when people are trying to make it about that. Just my personal point of view. What if it was about something so much grander we can't even see it until we expand out so much that we can acknowledge how easy our future could be?
Yeah, I even give up my gender. I'm like,
yeah.
Infinite being.
I don't know if I want you to do that, but I get it would definitely create something. How much could you use your gender to create more consciousness is really what I was going to ask. But yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. That killer eyebrow instinct.
Yeah, I've been resisting that.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, guys, we're getting really close to the end of the call. Actually, we're a few minutes over, which I'm totally happy. You guys have been awesome. Tremendous contribution. Is there any last questions or comments? Earl, did we answer your understand piece well?
Oh yeah, it was an energy that popped and just wanted to bring it out.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything else that you want to ask the master of Kung Fu fighting, Liam Phillips, or Matt, the monkey trainer?
Yeah, Liam, can you say more to the topic of being indulgent with your body, with your own body, or other bodies too?
Yes, that too. Yeah.
I guess one all of you know me. That I created a lot of disease in my reality. One of those things, which I found out recently at a class, was this thing called the disease of relationship that I had been creating that was keeping me from actually being able to create the chaos of communion. And Gary talks about communion from the point of view of you have to be in communion with everything. You can't just be in communion with a life partner. You can't just be in communion with money. You have to be in communion with everything. And one of the key things with that is your primary life partner, as Matt said at the beginning of the call, is your body. And so asking questions of your body and starting to create that commune with it will allow you to have communion with the planet and with the other molecules that are bouncing around on the planet, which may be in the form of another person, it may be in the form of money. Our bodies are these magical, fluid energies that are holding the molecules in particular ways. And if we're willing to be in communion with that space and that energy, our bodies can actually morph and change, and we can use that energy to create a different reality, or a different reality with relationships, a different reality in this physical reality. So what are you not willing to indulge? No, sorry. What if you were willing to indulge your body for the next 24 hours? Or take 1 day a week and indulge your body. You know, be with your body and allow it to make the choices and indulge it totally. And that may actually come out as a doing. So obviously if it's killing, you might want to go and do some pig hunting or something because you don't want to go to prison.
Yeah, a little disclaimer. Nothing in this call has anything to do with me or Liam actually encouraging you to kill other people, okay?
I know some of you are German and you still have the Nazi idea that we will kill the world by killing everybody.
We will help you reclaim the world by something. Excellent. Skeletor and He-Man, we will be your superheroes.
So, Boyka, does that help if you ask your body?
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
10 minutes a day, indulge your body. And and you know, so ask your body, you know, if I was to indulge with you today, what would you like to do for the next 10 minutes or an hour?
Yeah. And how much of that vulnerability that you're going to create, you know, possibly with your body is immediately available to other beings with bodies, but it wasn't before. Yeah. So it's really
oh my God.
practice.
Well, really, we're leading into a whole nother podcast there with indulging with your body.
Well, that actually is exactly what my call is about tomorrow. And so tomorrow we do have a podcast which is going to be called Creating with Your Body. How funny is that we covered all these basic levels of consciousness. And thank you guys so much. If you're interested in that call, you can just check my Facebook page. All the information is there. Contact Boyka. Liam, adore you, my brother. Thank you for being the potent and playful energy that you are in my life. As we're hearing from Katrin and a lot of other people, they, you know, how cool would it be to have men and women show up in such a 50-50 communion that would create an entirely different.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks you all for being on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Be weird. Change your world. Bye.